7:14 is our time right now, and Montgomery County leaders hinted last week that restrictions could be eased based on the current coronavirus data. Well, today could be the day. The council's meeting in just a few hours, and joining me this morning is Montgomery County Council President Tom Hucker. Good morning, Mr. Hucker. Thanks for your time this morning.
Good morning, Holly.
So my first question is, what are those numbers that are allowing this to happen? The status of COVID in Montgomery County right now?
Yesterday we reached a very important milestone of getting first doses of the COVID vaccine to over 50% of Montgomery County residents. At this point, 529,000 of our residents have had their first shot, and over a third of our residents, 352,000, are fully vaccinated at this point. And the really good news is that our case rate is less than half the state's rate. We have 8 out of every 100,000 residents testing positive for COVID, but it's 17 for the whole state. And we've achieved those milestones despite being the largest county in Maryland and the most diverse one. So we're very happy about the progress, and it's time to open things in a safe way.
You've also been the most restrictive, and your rollout has been slower than some of the others, and people have criticized that. I'm assuming that the easing of the restrictions, this phased approach, is going to get passed today, and so you're at that 50% for first doses, like you said. But I'm looking ahead to the next time, which is 60% of the residents having their first shots in their arms. When do you think we might get there, and isn't the hesitancy a problem? Because most of the people that wanted it have now gotten it, right? So what's the county doing to combat the hesitancy?
Well, in fact, to your first point, I think the numbers that we're seeing and the fact that we're doing better, we've driven down our relative risk compared to surrounding jurisdictions and other counties in Maryland. The fact that we've lowered that is a validation of the approach that we've taken. That's been more restrictive. We know it's been all of our residents have had to sacrifice, but the fact that we've had an organized effort to prioritize our seniors, our essential workers, our most vulnerable residents is exactly why our case counts are much lower than our surrounding jurisdiction.
Now, I'm sorry, go ahead.
So we have been, as the Board of Health, addressing different areas of the economy each of the last several weeks. We addressed youth sports 3 weeks ago, summer camps 2 weeks ago, outdoor graduations last week. This is a different approach we're taking this morning going forward, starting a new round of reopening at 50% now that we've hit that milestone, and then at 60%, our gathering limits will increase to 250 residents indoors, no limit outdoors, and we'll have less restrictive guidelines for businesses, food establishments, religious facilities as well.
And the big milestone is the 50% of people having been fully vaccinated, right? So in theory, maybe that's about 6 weeks away if everybody goes back and gets their second shot. But all of this is predicated on people still wearing masks, still social distancing, and yet today President Biden and the CDC are set to issue new guidelines regarding wearing masks outdoors, saying that you may not have to do that. So that's a little bit of a conflicting messaging for Montgomery County.
Well, I mean, look, we're all at the federal level, the state level, and the county level. We're all living through this pandemic in real time with shifting guidelines and learning about this virus in real time. And our approach as elected officials has been to assiduously follow the recommendations of our terrific public health team. And that's gotten us this far, and our numbers, I think, validate those decisions. You asked about hesitancy and the outreach. We have done a very good job of retail outreach to our Black and brown communities, to our 10 hardest hit zip codes, working with community partners. Just as an example, this weekend I was at White Oak Gardens in my district. I met the canvassers who had gone door to door in these apartments to tell residents about the opportunity to get vaccinated. We had 2 churches there providing emergency food assistance. We had 650 residents lining up to get their vaccine, going home with masks and with emergency food. Safeway provided the vaccines for us. People brought home cooked meals. It was really a great community event, and it works because it's a team effort using trusted messengers to get people to overcome their hesitancy and go get vaccinated.
Tom Hucker, President of Montgomery County Council. It's a process, and it will continue to be one, sir. Thank you so much for your time this morning. Really appreciate it.
Thanks so much for having me.
All right, take care. Jeanette. All right.